STEMI, Innovation for Inclusion in Early Education, Video Demos, Image of a Rooster in a Yellow Circle, Daily Routines, Story Time, Rosie's Walk by Pat Hutchins. Watch how the teacher includes all children during story time, with a tactile experience of items that will be mentioned in the story. While this is a strategy for children who are deaf-blind, blind, or have visual impairments, it is also a great way to learn for sighted children. Materials. Prepare story box before story time. Items collected for the book Rosie's Walk by Pat Hutchins. Feathers to represent a chicken. Fur to represent a fox. Stuffed chicken and or fox that closely resembles the real animals. Bundles of straw to represent a haystack. A pinwheel to represent a mill. Flour. Popsicle sticks to make a coop. Hand rake. 2 pieces of wood to represent a fence. A small tub of water for the pond. Real grass or fake grass to represent the yard. And a texture that represents a beehive or honeycomb. Preschool teacher Miss Jeannie holds the book in front of 3 students in a classroom and begins to read Rosie's Walk to them. Instruction tip: repeat words that are important to the story.
Rosie walked across the yard. She's walking across the yard and the fox is following her. Now, some things that we find in the yard.
That's so hard.
In their yard, there's some grass and some straw and some sticks.
Miss Jeannie points to images in the book as she repeats the words from the story. Miss Hillary has a student sitting in her lap and points as well. Instruction tip: point to the words and pictures to draw attention. Next, Miss Jeannie pulls a tray out that has grass, straw, and sticks to show the children. Instructions tip: stop reading to help children form connections between the story and real life and what they already know.
She's walking across the yard and her feet are going to touch the straw. Yeah, just like that. And the grass and hidden in the grass.
Her feet hurt.
Oh yes, hidden in the grass and the straw and sticks. There's a
Miss Jeannie brings a small blue and yellow toy rake to the tray of grass, straw, and sticks and places it under some hay. Instruction tip: the teacher allows children to touch and explore on their own. One child grabs the rake to hold it as they talk about what rakes are used for. Another child holds a stuffed chicken and pretends to have it walk on the straw. Instruction tip: speak slowly and allow time for children to respond.
rake. A rake. What do we use a rake for? Do you know, Nora?
For making sandcastles.
You can. That's a really great use for this kind of rake. A really big rake, though, you use to rake up leaves, and it has metal tongs sometimes, and it can hurt you if you're not careful. You want to be careful. It's a tool that you use in the yard. All right, let's pass it to our friend Nora. So Rosie's walking across the yard, and she's walking over these things. Yes, just like that.
Ow, ow, ow.
The chicken's feet are really tough. It doesn't hurt her feet.
It hit his nose.
Around the pond. Rosie's walking around the pond. What's a pond?
Miss Jeannie resumes reading the book. Instruction tip: ask questions.
A pond is where frogs live.
You are right. Frogs live in ponds. And then, you know what? There is a picture of a frog.
Material tip: direct children back to the storybook during discovery.
By the pond. Can you find the frog and point to him?
Almost. You found the rock. There's the frog. You
Ribbit.
pointed to the rock that the frog was sitting on.
Miss Hillary assists the child in finding the frog. Instruction tip: gentle corrections give children new knowledge, yet honor their contributions.
And then you found the frog.
Good looking.
Where's
She's going up.
That's the fox.
What is that?
Those are the fox's pointy ears.
Material tip. Having several versions of the items in the story box can help children understand new concepts.
I do have like a little toy fox, and he has two pointy ears. Do you feel his pointy ears?
Yeah, and where?
So that's what you saw on the picture. He has two pointy ears. Do you have pointy ears?
No.
No, me either. We're not foxes.
No.
Iris, do you want to see my fox?
Where's
He's got
he
one,
going?
two pointy ears. Over the haystack. So Rosie's walking over that pile of hay. She's walking right over it. On top of it, can you go over the hay?
Miss Jeannie brings out the hay and touches it while she invites a child to walk the stuffed chicken over the hay. Instruction tip. Use Storybox objects to help children understand the concepts of over.
Good looking,
Fly,
Iris.
fly, fly.
Yeah, there's the hay. Rosie's walking over the haystack.
She ate it.
And the fox is following. Miss Jeannie's gonna put it on her lap. Oh! The haystack fell on top of the fox. Iris, can I show you? The hay fell on top of the fox.
Instruction tip. Acting out positional words such as over and on top helps convey meaning. Miss Jeannie places a small fox on the tray and then puts hay on top of the fox.
Cover him up.
Where's our fox? Fox, where are you?
Cliff town.
Past the mill, and the windmill has a bag of flour. Do you remember whenever we made our bread? You weren't here with us that day, Nora, but we made bread.
Instruction tip. The teacher continues to connect the story to the children's experiences. Miss Jeannie pulls out a small sack of flour. Instruction tip. Passing the flour encourages children to socially interact.
And we used a little bit of the flour. And there's a sack of flour. Oh, you know what? It's kind of heavy. I'm going to pass it to Iris.
Oh, Iris. Oh,
Pass
it's
it.
heavy. Can you pass it
It's a
to
sack of
Nora?
flour. You pass it to Nora. She is to your right.
Pass it to Nora.
That is good waiting, Nora.
Where's our
Here it comes. There. Oh, hold on to the chicken.
Okay.
Is it heavy?
Yes.
Yeah, it is kind of heavy, yeah.
And
And it's got flour in it. We use it to make bread. Through the fence. Rosie's walking through the fence. It's a wooden fence.
Extra tip points to Jillian and reads, try to pull in older peers like Jillian here to help in small groups. Miss Jeannie then pulls out 2 pieces of wood from her story box to demonstrate how wood is placed with a slat between them to make a fence. Instruction tip. Use Storybox objects to demonstrate unfamiliar words.
what happened?
So there's like a little slat in the fence. A slat is like a space. A space. Iris, can I show you?
Yes.
My fingers are a space. Yeah, you found the space.
space.
I want to take it.
Yes, and Rosie's going to slide right in through the slats. Can you slide Rosie through the slats? She's going to go through the fence.
The chicken. Take her.
Oh, good job, Rosie. She's trying to get away from that fox. Oh, the fox tried to go through the fence, but he fell on a wagon.
Here's the fox.
He's still chasing Rosie. That sly fox.
Instruction tip. Asking, do you remember, is a great way to connect a child back to something already talked about. Also, pause and have the child reflect on their own questions before providing the answer.
Why is she still chasing Rosie?
Do you remember? Why does the fox want to catch Rosie?
Because he wants to eat everybody.
Under the beehive. Rosie is walking under the beehive. Remember when we talked about bees, and that's where bees keep their honey? It has lots of little.
Miss Jeannie pulls out a beehive and shows the children and allows them to feel it.
What are those?
That's where the bee would be hiding. And Rosie walks under the beehive. Can I show Iris? Can I show Rosie? I'll hold on to her so she doesn't fly away. She's gonna go under the beehive. Under
the beehive.
The children put the stuffed chicken under the beehive to demonstrate the word under.
Wow.
Rosie's going under, and she's gonna come find Nora. Nora, can you sit down on your bottom, please? Rosie's gonna come find you. She's going under the hive.
Under the beehive.
Oh, hold on to her for me. Okay.
You're touching the beehive, yeah.
Thank you,
The
Iris.
bees can hide in there.
Did you catch all the adaptations? Environmental adaptations. Stop reading to help children form connections between the story and real life and what they already know. Material adaptations. Acting out positional words such as over and on top helps convey meaning. Having several versions of the items in the story box can help children understand new concepts. Instructional adaptations. Direct children back to the storybook during discovery. Gentle corrections give children new knowledge, yet honor their contributions. Speak slowly and allow time for children to respond. Use storybox objects to help children understand the concept over. Passing the flower encourages children to socially interact. Use storybox objects to demonstrate unfamiliar words. Encourage children to ask questions throughout the story. The teacher allows children to touch and explore on their own. The teacher continues to connect the story to the children's experiences. Asking, "Do you remember?" is a great way to connect a child back to something already talked about. Repeats words that are important to the story. Point to the words and pictures to draw attention. Check out more tips and activities at stemi.fpg.unc.edu. STEMI, Innovation for Inclusion in Early Education. Thanks for watching. Video credit, Kansas Deaf Blind Project and Kansas State School for the Blind. Interested in participating in video demonstrations? Contact us. STEMI@unc.edu. Logo for UNC Frank Porter Graham Child Development Institute. Logo for the University of Denver. Logo, Ideas That Work, Office of Special Education Programs. Logo, Morisco Institute for Early Learning.